of you to the International Conference on Literature, Languages, and Religions 2024. It is an endeavor jointly organized by International Language Council, PG Department of English, Maharaja Icllr, affiliated to Veer University, India, Research Culture Society, and English Literature Club. As you can see, that this conference has been divided into 6 sessions, starting with the inauguration session, followed by 2 presentation sessions. And all these sessions will be held today. And the remaining 2 sessions, presentation session 4 and validity session, will be held tomorrow. Again, I welcome all of you to the International Conference on Literature, Languages, and Religions. And now we will do virtually lamp lighting of Veer. So, sir, I request you to start the process.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada. Shatrubuddhi vinashaya dipajyotirnamostute. Dipajyotirnamostute. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीमभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहा हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थिता वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्
With the blessings of the mantras, we will start the conference. And first of all, let us know something about the organization institutions. PG Department of English, it has been tirelessly working to improve the department's academic atmosphere and the students' overall growth. In addition to the participating in academic pursuits, students receive professional development. And the department also organizes intermittent extracurricular activities. The department maintains its own literary, debate, and drama clubs for students. Maharaja Icllr, the first and oldest co-educational institution in southwest Bihar. It is also known as Maharaja Bahadur Ram Ranvijay Prasad Singh College. It was founded on September 13, 1954, to address the increasing demand for education, particularly higher education facilities in the Shahabad district after independence. On February 1966, the college became a part of the Mother University in Bodh Gaya, Bihar, forming Mother University October 1992 split. Veer University was established with its main office located in Icllr. The Maharaja College is obviously older than Veer Singh University Ara itself. The university is located in the center of the town. Our next uh, organization is Research Culture Society. It is the government registered scientific research organization. The society is working for the research community at national and international level to impart quality and non-profitable services. Society has successfully organized more than 155 conferences, seminars, symposiums, and other educational programs at national and international levels in association with different educational institutions. Educational institutions, colleges, universities are welcome for memorandum of understanding, free to sign without any charge for academic exchange, knowledge sharing, and collaboration to organize events with us. We are promoting and sponsoring educational events as well as publishing research work in collaboration. We also invite sponsorship from the industries, corporates, institutions, and government bodies for our educational programs. And the next one is the International Language Council. It is working to promote languages and literatures at different national and international levels, and also coordinate with other institutions and organizations for the educational and community development. It also refers to provide literature, ELT, linguistic research services, educational studies, and organizing activities. These are the links. The first link is for the website that is on the screen. And the second one is the link of the Facebook page. And we also have Facebook group, and the link is there. The next one is English Literature Club. Uh, English Literature Club is a literature center of RCS and available on social media groups on WhatsApp and Telegram apps that includes literature researchers and accommodations for sharing literature, linguistics, and English language related information and knowledge. The Facebook page for the same has been given there. IJRCS, International Refer Clear Giver UGC approved journal, and the website is given there. Uh, let us know something about the conference committee. Uh, we have in this conference the organization or the chair members, Dr. Vandana Singh, head PG Department of English, Maharaja College, Ara. And the next one is Dr. Rukmini Singh, International Language Council member. She is the member of International Council Language Council, Indonesia, and English Language Education Department, PGRI, Jambal University, Indonesia. And we have with us our keynote speakers, Dr. Sadiq Zamani Roostari, Dr. Tulika Chandra, Dr. Farah Hijaz, and we have the organizing secretaries, Dr. Shanwaz Alam, Shailesh Ranjan, and we have with us the technical support, Shashi Prakash and Harsh Ranjan. They are the research scholars. And here we come to the proceeding cover book page, and all the papers that will be presented in this conference will be published in this book. And as we see the cover page, that will be published the ISBN number. So now we have come to the opening session, and I the moderator of this session, Muhammad Shahnaz Alam. And today, for this conference, we have the eminent keynote speakers. And the first one is Dr. Sadige Zamani Roosari. She is an academic coordinator. She saw instructor, Auburn Global Curriculum and Teaching, Auburn University, Alabama, USA. She's a member of International Language Council, RCS. And we have with us another eminent speaker, Dr. Tulika Chandra. She is a professor, Department of English, Nada Institution of Eminence, Delhi, NCR, India. We have also with us Dr. Vandana Singh. She is the head PG Department of English, Maharaja College, Ara. And we have another eminent keynote speaker, Dr. M. Nagalakshmi. She's a professor, Department of English, Vistas, Chennai, India. Thank you uh, for being a part of this conference. Now, I would like to call our eminent speakers to share your views with us in this conference. First of all, I would like to invite Dr. Saidigi Zamani Rusari to share your views with us. I request Dr. Zamani ma'am.
Hello everyone, this is Seti Zamani from Auburn University. I welcome you to the International Conference on Literature, Languages, and Religions. As a member of International Languages Council, I welcome you to this rich and interesting conference today. And let's explore this conference by the starter of power of online teaching and learning of languages. As we know, these days, online teaching and online learning of the languages are very common, and there is no way that we can just avoid the importance of virtual learning and teaching. As we all know, there is a kind of challenging and also changing paradigm of learning languages. The dynamics of language education that is driven by the integration of technology is changing every day. We have plenty of online platforms available, access to language learning, breaking down the barriers of time and space. And also, we are not limited to any physical classrooms anymore. The students across the globe can connect with native speakers and language experts to foster a diverse and immersive linguistic environment. The good thing is we can have the students from all cultures, all nations, all nationalities with different linguistic backgrounds in the same classroom through technology and virtual learning. So this is a very important advantages of virtual learning and online teaching and learning. We have access to many devices to teach and learn. We also can include all populations, all linguistic and cultural backgrounds in our classrooms while we are learning and teaching. These advantages give us plenty of opportunities. As I said, the first opportunity is not to be limited to any geographies, any continents, countries, states, cities. You cannot limit the audience and the language learners to their socioeconomic factors. So we have more equity in our language classrooms by just teaching and learning through technology. They can let learners from the diverse backgrounds to engage in meaningful language learning. I know, again, we have placements for language learning, for language teaching. We need placements. But again, it is not just limited to one city, one area, one nationality. You can teach students in different countries at the same time through technology. And also, this cultural and linguistic inclusivity promotes cultural understanding and global collaboration. As I said, we have technology, and technology is really helping us in language learning platforms. We have many tools available that they are not very possible in traditional learning. These tech tools help the educators and learners to teach and learn in more advantageous ways. Technology can create engagement, involvement, and participation in more effective learning experiences. So if the students have different learning styles, they can just take the advantage of different strategies, and they are not limited to our traditional methods and strategies. We can move from interactive lessons and virtual classrooms to artificial intelligence powered these days. Adaptive learning can be just a very cool tool for our instruction, and we can bring individuals in different learning styles into our teaching environment. And these are the advantages that we can optimize this learning journey. What are your roles? What are our roles? What are the roles of educators in this digital era? Yes, we need to adapt. We need to be up-to-date, and we need to welcome technology to apply them in our instructions, in our teaching, and in our assessments. Sometimes we as educators need to change our mindsets, not to be stuck and hooked on our traditional methods. We need to walk with the same space and pace as our learners. We need to have the potential, the ability to learn and engage in meaningful ways with our students, with our language learners, for meaningful interactions that provides timely feedback through technology. There are challenges. Yes, we know there are challenges in learning and teaching new ways. But those challenges are beautiful because we are learning at the same time while we are teaching. And it is always possible to overcome the challenges in online language learning. So the first important step is digital literacy. We need digital literacy for both the learners and educators, because digital literacy brings student engagement. Imagine if the language learners or the educators do not have enough digital literacy. For a successful teaching and learning experience, both the learners and the teachers should have digital literacy. If not, there should be the potential for isolation, and we will have classrooms full of passive learners. We need to foster a sense of community and be connected with our virtual classrooms in a very constructive way. We can create the environment in which the effective language learning is happening both for the learners and is a good experience for the educators. And again, we can overcome all these challenges by practicing and respecting our digital literacy. Also, we need to pay attention to cultural competence in a digital world. Languages and cultures are not apart or away from each other. Languages and cultures are interconnected and interrelated. In online language learning, probably we have a better opportunity to bring different cultures into the classrooms. Because as I said, we have different nationalities with different linguistic backgrounds. So it is always possible to be reached in different cultures. With virtual exchanges, collaborative projects, and bringing the real rich cultural materials to our classrooms, the students would have a better learning experience and understanding of the language in the cultural context. This digital bridge brings the learners to us and helps us teach students and learners in a more advantageous way, and it will bring global linguistic properties into our classrooms. What are the future landscape and trends and possibilities? Online teaching and learning is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So we need to continue to practice and increase our digital literacy. And also, we know that it is here to continue to evolve. Yes, artificial intelligence is here to stay too. So we need to practice how to use and apply artificial intelligence in practices in our teaching and learning languages. Language education offers a rich experience of learning opportunities. And as educators, we always need to learn. The integration of real-world applications and industry-specific language trainings are very important because they prepare learners for the demands of their future globalized world. Are there any ethical considerations that I should remember as an educator? Yes, there are. We need to remember that in our teaching and learning methodologies reflect the ethical considerations of digital literacy. The digital transformation of language education includes the ethical considerations that we need to consider in our lesson planning, in our assessment, and sending this voice to our learners. We need to consider the data privacy, the digital equity, and we are responsible how we use this technology in different classrooms while we are teaching. The use of technology demands our attention. As we harness the power of online platforms, it is crucial to ensure that education remains a force for empowerment. We need to include all the populations in our powerful device of teaching. And we also always remember the ethical practices in them. In conclusion, online teaching and learning of languages represent a paradigm that is shifting from our traditional teaching and learning methods to a more beautiful and wider and very inclusive world. There are no geographical boundaries, cultural boundaries, or economic boundaries. Virtual education is for everyone, everywhere. This digital frontier holds the promise of a more inclusive and accessible and interconnected world. Educators, learners, and stakeholders, like many other collaborators, can bring these transformative powers, the transformative power of technology in their everyday teaching, and bring this in a digital revolution. Together, you and I, we can shape a future where language education becomes a unique and perfect experience for the future generations. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the conference today. And please keep in touch if you have any questions, comments.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Zamani, man, for such a deep insight on digital literacy and online teaching for learners as well as teachers. Your presentation about digital literacy is really excellent one. Thanks a lot for being with us as the keynote speaker. And ma'am, we wish you a further association in our upcoming programs. Thank you so much. And now we have with another eminent speaker, Dr. Tulika Chandra. She is a professor, Department of English, United Institution of Eminence, Delhi, NCR, India.
Sure. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Zamani, for setting up the tone. Thank you so much for letting me share my views. So good morning, distinguished guests, scholars, and participants. It's both an honor and privilege to address this esteemed gathering at an international conference, and that is dedicated to the interplay of literature, language, and religions. It's a pleasure to be speaking to an eminent gathering who is well versed in knowing the concepts of the three words, language, literature, and religion. And I'm very thankful to the organizers, especially Professor Vandana at the Icllr 2024 conference, to have invited me to share my thoughts with you. So in a world increasingly defined by its interconnectedness, this theme holds profound significance. Our discussions today and the day to come offer an opportunity to reflect on how these three pillars of human expression shape, enrich, and challenge our understanding of ourselves and each other. The theme of the conference, that is language, literature, and religion, resonated in my mind. I recall the issues related to belief, especially folk belief, folk expression, displaying nature, and I started noting down my points of view that were concerns of the society and were still relevant. What I find most compelling about discussing with all of you over here are a few points from the lens of folk literature. That is where my area of interest and my area of research lies. The field of study which tries to understand and comprehend the skillfully represented, narrated, recreated, we can say retold folk expressions that display bonding with sacred and connectedness to the humans. So I'll be here talking from the point of view of folk literature. Though some of the information over here will be kind of repetitive to most of us in this gathering, sorry, I would just like to begin by verbalizing a point here. We note the difference between literature that is written by individuals, such as when we talk about the novels written by Jane Austen, Harper Lee, Virginia Woolf, Bankim Chatterjee, or we have short stories by Munshi Premchand, George Orwell, or the poems that we always have it in the classroom, like Shakespeare or P.B. Shelley, or by Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. And on the other hand, we talk about the literature that is compiled, collected, and written. Or say we have rewritten, orally told, and retold expressions. So when we talk about this aspect, the folk literature is the later one. I'm sorry. So folk literature comprises expressions that are owned not by the individuals, but these are owned by the particular community expressions. That means they are possessions of social groups, not individuals. The folk forms and folk expressions have been part and parcel of human communication since antiquity. But the study of folklore as an academic discipline is rather very recent. So lots of schools, when it started with the academic academic discipline, lots of schools of thought emerged, and they came up with varied definitions of folkloristic studies. But finally, in 1960s and 1970s, the scholars officially cast off the views of the earlier folklorists and reshaped the term folklore to reflect a more inclusive and accurate definition. So with two ongoing folklore projects of mine, and having recorded a quite good number of folk expressions, I have always expected to surprise me. The tales and folk songs, the newness, content, direction, emotion, perspective, and importantly, surprise is always there. Delve into the points I find relevant here to quote Alan Dundas, the folklorist's words. So in 1977, he talks about the understanding of what constitute the word folk, and with which I fully agree with. In line with his critique of 19th century understanding of the term folk, rather than the folk being the lower strata of society, illiterate and distinct from the apparently more civilized urban elite sections of the society, I believe any and every person can and are folk, as they inevitably align and belong to a group unified by at least one common element or the other. So Dundas defines folk in the following way. He says, the term folk can refer to any group of people whosoever. Factor. So, well, I'm not going to go into the argument further over this. Going forward, religion, often expressed through literary and linguistic forms, is one of the humanity's most enduring frames. Interpreting existences provides communities with a sense of purpose and belonging, offering narratives that explain the cosmos ethic. So I'm going to talk about a few things over here. The first one is that a study that was conducted by collecting, compiling, and analyzing folk expressions, especially the folk tales. This is a book which I'm talking about, was a work based on personal observation that the religion of folk rural folks, and it's based on a belief or a saying that feeling of fear the rural people feel. Well, I'm speaking about the versatile Orientalist William Crook, magistrate and collector of revenue in Agra, Awadh, and other districts in northern India during his tenure at Indian Civil Services in the 1880s and 1890s. William Crook wrote several very, very good books and compilations. I'm talking about his work, which he wrote after he had gone back to England. And that was after his retirement. The book is known as Religion and Folklore of Northern India. It's in the archival space. And it was published in 1926 by Oxford University Press. Crook went on to collect the folk narratives, the folk tales from rural India, and the editorial preface of this book states that it was done in order to obtain a better understanding of Indian colonial subjects. He was helped by a scholar, Ram Garib Chaube, was not only helping Crook in collecting the folk tales, but was also translating these expressions. This book was written by Crook for his officers of the civil services to understand the rituals of the rural India. So what does Crook talk about, and why do I want to mention him here? Crook talks about the varied aspects of folk belief through his observations, through his collections of beliefs on deity worships and god links. He peeps cultural and social aspects of caste, class, rural people. That is to say, it's a kind of he judges or he acknowledges the belief system of the people. The analysis of his collection and observations is done after working on the analysis of his collected folk narratives and other folk expressions. So his observation can be seen as he puts his analysis under 3 points. I want to follow up here. It says that, so let's talk about these 3, and I'm hurrying up because we have time constraint. Let us talk about these 3 over here. So number 1, Crook analyzes the folk expressions, the tales, the songs that he had collected, the information that he had collected through the thematic topic. So that is what the first point is, a thematic idea. A thematic idea means the bigger ideas in the specific aspects or issues. So he was not confined to one particular theme. It was a thematic idea. The second thing that he did his analysis was, or the analysis of these narratives and the folk expressions were the composite structures of these narratives. This means that he looks into the sequencing which is present in the folk expressions and the narratives, and also looks into the chronology that is present in the storyline. That's how the analysis goes. The third point that Crook has in his analysis of these throughout the book is that he was a keen observant of rhetoric structures. And the rhetoric structure in the folk expressions gathered by him and Chaube. So these folk expressions contained varied rhetoric styles, such as involvement of the specific audience, retelling and emphasizing of the specific points, and looking into these emphasized points, gathering this rhetoric structures, and then putting them through a discussion with his Indian juniors or the helpers like Chaube. And he had many more. The use of particulars are the key, the particularities actually are the key features explained by Crook in this particular book. He explains the meaning of the terms, the three terms, Deva, Deota, and Devak. So now coming to these three words, he talks about that Deva, Deota, and Devak, that these are the three main points of beliefs. He observes they are very heart of the beliefs in the Indian population, and these beliefs also talk about the folk religion that was carried on in various tribes, as well as into the other religious aspects. So Dev of Brahmanical tradition are considered to be the great gods of orthodox Hinduism, such as Shiv, Durga, so on and so forth. While Devta are the believed ones who embody the fears and hopes of the ignorant people, the masses, such as Hanuman, Ganesh, and so forth. And coming to the third functioning of belief are the Devak. They are believed to be the totemistic spirit contained in some tree or animal or any material object, in which, in addition to being the subject of special worship and that regulates religious laws, it almost is like the ancestral spirit that is studied here. So let me delve further into the folk expressions that provide the perspectives of the people under question, their biases, and their understanding of themselves and the world. So studying a concept via folk expressions is not an attempt to understand a section of a society based on their accomplishments, their victories, the defeats, the battles, or events in chronological order. But what it is an effort to understand how they themselves have shaped their institutions, their lives, their culture and tradition, and their own history. So this is a movement beyond recorded events to a new understanding of history, that is, a people's history. So a folklore's commitment to the fieldwork as a retrieval of peculiarities of emergent genres and performance has much to contribute to an emerging cross-disciplinary discourse on critical regionalism. Folklores flash a strong environmental wisdom as well. Many folk tales, folk expressions cover diverse aspects of nature. The belief in these tales contain human as well as non-human forms. So these stories display knowledge and understanding of environmental occurrences. They occur, they talk about climate change, of birds, beasts, etc., etc. So when we talk about nature, we talk about that in the Indian subcontinent itself, where the medicinal flora and fauna is quite rich, a sizable rural population still depends on the herbal drugs and survival. So the folk expressions have the metaphor literalized and extended that connect us to the world around us. The language used in these folk expressions and folk beliefs remind us of our sacred bond with the natural sounds, such as rustling of the leaves or the flow of the river, into symbol of strength, memory, meaning, and so on and so forth. Folklore captures a community's deep connection to the nature, underscoring the shared sense of loss and suffering when environment is harmed. We try to address a question here. How do nature tales, that is related to the nature, the tales and the expressions, that is the tales talk about display and understanding towards flora and fauna, create awareness about the environment? Indian folk tales all across the oral tales and later brought into written forms, such as Panchatantra and the Jatak Kathas, and we have so many other forms that were compiled and put into like book forms in the ancient Indian times. The Panchatantra is a book with stories advocating in Niti Shastra, the textbook of Niti. The word Niti translates roughly the wise conduct of life, situated in an environment that is far away from the urban areas, in jungles, in small ponds, or near the rivers. So these stories and the narrations that follow aim to illustrate ecological truths. They accomplish this while unfolding with a kind of agreeable logic, and these are indicative of traditional nature tales. These folk expressions have been interpreting nature. We have vivid description of rustling of leaves, as we talked about, or events and festivals that involve the flow of the river, praying of the bark of trees, offering flowers as gifts, and many, many more. Recognition of trees with traditional significance have narratives woven around them that tell the community to abide by the rules laid down by nature. The folk songs and the proverbs convey messages that animals are actually alive creatures, trees not to be cut down, nature to be treated as mother, a woman who has created this world. Panchatantra is a series of 5 books we all know. I'm just putting up a kind of a recap over here. That these 5 tantras or 5 main narratives that are actually studied are Mitrabhed, Mitrabhed or the broken friendship, Mitra Samprapti, that is winning of the friends among varied types of persona. The third one is the Kakulukye, that means the war of wisdom, war between cows and owls. Lakshya Pranash, loss of one's gains and separation. And the last one, the 5th one, is Aparikshat Karak, that is considered action, rash deeds, and so on and so forth. I would like to conclude my address by sharing 2 examples with all of you. Few folk narratives have strong messages borrowed from the sacred Hindu scripture like Rig Veda, written approximately between 1500 and 1200 BC, to speak on behalf of earth for its principle of replenishment. You give me, I'll give you back, or do not harm the environment. The messages are echoed in the folk tales and the folk songs and the proverbs in the villages in the northern region of Gorakhpur. I'm taking the example from there, Gorakhpur, India. This is a floristically rich region, and it has a bush which is spreading shrub or a medium-sized tree. It is multi-purpose plant commonly known as madar or aak in Hindi. The Latin name is, I'm sorry about the pronunciation, Calotropis procera. Madar plant is, although highly toxic, it is a potential source of renewable energy for local people. It also yields ash, which is used for making gunpowder. The bark yields white, silky, strong, and durable fiber, which is used for making ropes, carpets, finishing nets, and lines, bowstrings, twines, and swing threads. It is used for folk medicinal uses for curing different diseases and conditions of humans and the cattle. Thus, the tales about the repercussions and negative consequences if the plant is cut down or is harmed. No one dares touches it with malintention. If you use any part of madar plant, you have to plant a sapling or grow at least 5 more madar plants. These narratives and the traditions are the mark of wilderness. Its fate in dying forests and lakes is our fate. These tales from natives of particular region, but also of wild boars, wolves, shrubs, and lakes. So the second one, when we talk about, is the concept of environment has gained greater popularity in certain regions, and the concept of protecting, driving positive attitudes towards environment and knowledge about the causes and effects of environmental pollution is backed by the folk narratives. A tiny village called as Pisawa. This is situated in a prominent and always busy pilgrim district, Mathura, in India, has a folk narrative which has a mythological character from the Indian epic Mahabharata. This place is also a home to a small forest, that is Pisawa I'm talking about. It's a forest with a huge pond and different types of trees and creatures. green, absolutely, and different shades of green. The narratives from this village narrate that since the end of Mahabharat Kurukshetra war, approximately 920 BC, a legend named Ashwasthama, we all know him, has been living in the nearby forest. Ashwasthama was one of the most powerful warriors in Mahabharat, and he had killed innocent sons of his opponents and thus was cursed by Krishna, the Hindu deity. Ashwasthama was granted immortality, and as a symbol, he had a green gem, green or it's a very shiny gem stuck on his forehead since he was born. Because of the curse, Krishna removed the gem from his forehead and let him to live forever on this earth till the end of the earth with the gaping wound on his forehead. The natives of the village, that is Pisawa village, have many stories seeing him or meeting him or spotting Ashwasthama with this huge wound on his forehead in the night. And if they are like out of their houses or if they are near the forest of the Pisawa, the result is it's absolutely green. Nobody touches any flowers, any shrubs, any trees, not even a twig is taken up by the people. So I wish to end my presentation over here, the address over here. Let this conference be a testament to the transformative power of dialogue as we engage with the intersections of literature, language, and religions. Let us strive to eliminate paths towards understanding and harmony. Thank you so much. I wish you a stimulating and fruitful exchange of ideas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tulika Chandra, ma'am. You have beautifully termed literature, language, and religions as the three pillars of human communication. And you have just said that folk literature is owned by community, not by individuals. Your presentation is really informative, interesting, and captivating one. Thanks a lot for being with us as the keynote speaker. And we wish you further collaboration in our upcoming programs. Thank you so much. Now we have another eminent uh, speaker, Dr. Vandana Singh, Head PG Department of English, Maharaja College. Ma'am, I would like you to share your views.
I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. At the very onset, I'd like to thank Professor Tulika Chandra and Professor Zamani for such in-depth insights into their topics. I would also like to talk on the conference interlinking language, literature, religion, and spirituality, because it's a very rich and complex web that has significantly shaped human culture and understanding throughout history, how it has been shaped. So a very good morning to everyone present. Basically, language is the primary medium through which ideas, beliefs, and emotions are expressed. It shapes how individuals communicate their spiritual experiences and religious beliefs. If I say language, language is something which can be non-verbal also. We can understand the birds also. If we try to, we can understand the animals also. Even they are very spiritual and they can follow the religious things also. So on and off, we have been witnessing animals going to temples and sitting there praying. So basically, language facilitates the transmission of religious texts and spiritual teachings across generations, preserving cultural heritage and identity. When we look at literature, what exactly is literature and how is it concerned with language or like religion texts or spirituality? We can say that it often explores themes of faith, morality, and human condition, providing a narrative framework for understanding religious and spiritual concepts. Many literary works draw on religious myths and folklore. And of course, we call myth and folklore because we have not witnessed it. So basically, for us, those we do not see, it becomes a myth. And what exactly is folklore, as like Professor Tulika has already explained and given us such a beautiful concepts of folklore and narratives in various parts of India. Basically, it's like the traditional oral literature that is being carried on to from generation to generation, and it reflects the societal values and spiritual inquiries. So these stories can serve to reinforce or challenge existing beliefs. When we come to religion, well, religious traditions often include sacred texts, example, Quran, Bible, Vedas, and Gita, that are not only linguistic artifacts, but also literary works that convey profound spiritual truths and ethical guidelines. So the language used in religious rituals shapes an experience of spirituality, creating a communal bond among practitioners and fostering a sense of the sacred. So exactly what is spirituality if it is not like religion or whatever? I feel that it is a personal exploration. Spirituality often transcends organized religion and focuses on individual experience and personal meaning, which can be articulated through poetry, prose, and other forms of literary expression. So many spiritual movements emphasize the interconnectedness of all beings, a theme that is often explored in literature, encouraging all the readers to reflect on their place in the world. If I may use a Sanskrit phrase, that is Tat Tvam Asi, that is, you am I. So this concept is visible and explained in not only like in Hindi literature, religious texts, but it is all over in Quran, it is there in Bible, and we find it in the modern contemporary literature also, such as like if I look at the poetry of Walt Whitman, if I look at the literary works of Toni Morrison, if I look at Alice Walker, or if I look at Rabindranath Tagore, if I look at divine comedy, or if I look at Wordsworth. So each one has their faith, and they have this faith focused on. So Wordsworth was like focused on nature. So for him, nature was everything. And through that, he personally evolved. And when we read those poems of Wordsworth, we are enamored by the languages used. We are enamored by the feelings that come through and the spontaneous emotions that he talks about and which comes out in poets is impeccable. So if I talk about the interconnections, so it's like basically it's an interplay of language, literature, and religion that shapes individual and collective identities, influencing how people perceive themselves and their relationships with the divine or the universe. If we talk about cultural reflection, then again, literature often reflects the religious and spiritual beliefs of a culture, providing insights into societal values and conflicts. So when we take, for example, if we are in a classroom of a communication or a foreign language teaching communication classroom, we have to take care how we communicate with different individuals present there with different cultural background and with their different beliefs, creed, faith. So we have to be very friendly in those classrooms. Another case study that I have been doing, and one of my colleagues, like right from childhood, he has been a reader of Aurobindo. So he has been reading it and he has been inculcated, he's totally into Aurobindo. And for him, Aurobindo is the God, the 10th avatar of Lord Vishnu, Bhagwan Vishnu, which we call in Dashavatar. So, fine, it's like his belief, his faith, and everything exists in the world of Aurobindo. And similarly, I might say that I might be believing in something, I believe in something. The difference between believing in something and making it a cult that has to be followed by everyone, there kind of this interconnectedness breaks, the linkage breaks, because then we are trying to force people to follow the faith and belief and creed and whatever we like are following. That is not spiritual evolvement that we are talking about here. So basically, the topic of my lecture today or address today is exploring the spiritual dimensions of literature, which we find in each and every culture and each and every book that we read. That impact can be seen on European, it might be American, it might be Commonwealth literature, it can be any literature in the world. And we see this, it's very profound and enduring. So from ancient epics to contemporary novels, religion's themes and spiritual questions continue to shape literary narratives and character development. So as writers grapple with existential dilemmas, morality, and the search for meaning, literature serves as a crucial medium for exploring the complex interplay between faith and humanity. So the ongoing dialogue between religion and literature not only enriches our understanding of the human experience, but also invites readers to reflect on their beliefs and the world around them. So literature remains a vital space for the exploration of spirituality, offering insights that resonate across cultures and generations. The manner that literary work examine the profound ties between human experience and the spiritual realm is referred to as a spirituality in literature. So there are various things that can be taken up, and with this, I like to end on my side because there are other speakers who I would like to listen to. So basically, this is the fact that this conference, I'm really happy to be here, and let's explore language, literature, and religion together. And I'm sure the 2 days would be very informative with all the presenters being there and speaking about it. Thank you so much for giving me the platform. Thank you so much. Have a very good day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Vandana ma'am, for sharing your views on interconnection between different religions, be it be it Islam or every holy scripture, as you said, that all the holy books are actually literature. So really, it is really informative and captivating. Thanks a lot for being with us, and we wish you further collaboration in our upcoming programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And as I have been told that the next eminent speaker, we don't have uh, M. Nagalakshmi with us. So now we come to the close of this inaugural session of the International Conference on Literature, Languages, and Religions 2024. It's my privilege to extend my heartfelt gratitude or vote of thanks to those who have made this conference so impactful. First and foremost, our gratitude goes to our keynote speaker, Dr. Sadige Zamani Rosteri, and Dr. Tarika Chandra, and Dr. Vandana Singh. Your invaluable insights have been the cornerstones in this conference, and for that we are truly thankful. Our special thanks also must be extended to Dr. C.M. Patel, the Director of the Research Culture Society, founder president of the International Research Center. His leadership and wisdom has been instrumental in shaping this conference. Thank you, sir. And I think that very soon we shall start the presentation session one, and all the presenters, participants are requested to rejoin our next session as per given time, perhaps at 1:30. Thanks for joining this inaugural session ICLLR 2024. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.